Hello and welcome to Live at Leica. And today I'm here and we are going to be interviewing Vineet Vohra, who all of you know, and I think you know his body of work. And for the past uh, about 10 days, he has been interviewing uh, different people who use Leica as a camera and as a means of expression. So this is me turning the tables back at him, and so I hope you guys can hear me. And Rudra Gajendra, I hope you guys can hear me. All I can see are waves, and let me see. So we had also asked for you guys to send in questions that you wanted to ask Vineet since he was here, and we have got quite a few questions. So we'll first go with the questions that I have for him, and thank you Mona Singh and Nishant Balutia for letting me know that you can hear me loud and clear. But anyway, so first I'm going to be asking the kind of questions that he asked me during his session. I think our session was on the 6th, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, so I think Vineet is here, and so without further ado, let's get him on. So waiting for Vineet to join us. Uh,
Hi,
Hi Vineet, welcome to
can you hear
Live
me
with
loud?
Leica.
Oh, thank you so much. You're using my lines now.
Yes, the tables have turned.
Yes, I'm so
Yes.
looking forward for these tables now. Can you hear
So,
me loud and clear?
yes, I can hear you, and I
All
hope the
right.
same goes for others as well.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
so, um, so anyway, I was hoping that I would, be able, today being the 14th, I would be able to come and give you some good news about the lockdown. But it didn't happen. So
Yeah.
it seemed
Yeah.
that we are all stuck till the third.
Yeah.
And
But I think that's
I'm
the right way out. It's the right way out.
yes,
If
yes,
you really
yes, yes,
need to break the curve and like flatten the curve, we really need to have the lockdown.
absolutely.
I think we come out winners if we really maintain the lockdown.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So anyway, so without much waiting, the tables have turned, and so
Hmm.
I have got the same. We'll start with the same set of questions that you had,
Right. All
and
right.
so I want to know from when have you been photographing, and what made you pick up the camera?
Well, that's really been it's been 26 years now. And if you'll ask me why and how, then that I'll come to later. But it's been 26 years. I graduated from College of Arts, and
The
I
Delhi College
was
of Arts,
the Delhi College of Arts and
right?
the Lalit
Right.
Kala Mahavidyalaya, and did a master's in fine arts. And then I had this plan of really pursuing into commercial arts or something like
Right.
that. But then over a period of time, I felt that painting was taking too much time and I
Right.
was not really good at it. And then I was also doing sculpture side by side because my mentor was a sculptor. So I thought I needed to do something instantly. I needed to freeze the painting instantly. That is why I picked up camera. And I was doing all sorts of photography. I was all over the place. I didn't know that I was doing street photography at that time.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So as a genre, you didn't know that you you were so
I
so
had
yeah.
no
So I
idea.
there is actually quite a strong bond between photographers and other forms of art like painting. Henri
Hmm.
Cartier-Bresson, I believed, spent a large part of his later years painting, and you can see
Hmm.
his work at the Cartier-Bresson Museum and all of that. So do
Right.
you feel that a background in arts helps you as a photographer?
See, it's a creative medium. Arts, the existence of photography came into place because of painting.
Right.
Because painting was taking, in fact, it was taking a lot of time. And the
Right.
photographers felt, somebody who wanted to freeze the moment felt that I need to see the scene as is. I need to capture the light, what I'm seeing on a plate, and it should look like a three-dimensional work. So it came into existence because of that. And now, if you'll say how painting influences photographer or how it's helped me in doing better part of photography, if I might say, is because the understanding of light is very easy if you
Right.
know how to
Right.
paint. You
Right.
know which is the direction of light. Like
Right.
if you look at master's work and if you look at good paintings, you will know there are no two sources of light.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
has to be one source of light which is coming in,
Right.
and in
Right.
that direction, it cuts off in the direction. You
Right.
will not see four, five shadows falling in various aspects like we see in today, how we make four, five different sources of light in professional work,
Right.
and there are shadows which are dramatically created. But in the real world, the light source on street is just one, one
Right.
direction.
Right.
So it helped me in that way, and
Okay.
also the composition. In I can totally say from my side that if I'm painting, I will not chop off somebody's feet when I'm painting. I will not chop off somebody's hand at a wrong place. Now, for photographers and painters, I feel prosthetics is an art, and only the
Right.
doctors can do it. We are not trained to do it, but we
Right.
also have to be little more sensitive towards our framing. And
Right.
I really make it a point where to chop off feet and where to chop off the limbs at the right place in my
Right.
photography.
Right.
So that's how painting has helped me. And also
Right.
another very, very crucial aspect of how painting has helped photography is like if people who are listening, they want to do street photography and they want to practice layers, I would tell them that if you have to paint a painting, will you paint a guy right on the face of the other guy? No, you will never do it. You will maintain a space. You will have social distancing in your paintings, which is the need of the hour. Similarly, when you're doing street photography, have that social distancing in your subjects, and the viewer will make himself a part of the scene. That is very
Right.
important. And that's how photography, the painting has helped me in my photography.
So, can you give us some of the names which have inspired you in the world of photography? And
Well,
by and large,
I totally knew this is coming up, and
right,
if I'll name some living people, the other friends of mine will feel that I haven't named them, and,
right,
but to be very honest, all the painters have inspired me. I look
right,
at painters' work to get inspired. There are tremendous photographers out there, but I feel the more I look at that work, I'll tend to kind of copy their work. So I stay
right,
away. I really admire their work. I really appreciate the work they're doing. But for me, if I have to name, then Renoir is really on the top list of my
right,
painters. Degas
right.
is another one. Then
Of course,
when I was doing layers, then Sura, who was the father of pointillism,
right,
gave me the idea that I don't have to overlap subjects. And then
right,
Picasso, that the sense of like Picasso moved on to painting, photography, sculpture. I
right,
like his sense of form. And when I'm creating a photograph, I see it as a form. I, I make it as, I would say, a sculpture. And that is my gift to
right,
photography, that I feel that end of the day, photography should be a winner, not the photographers, not the painters, but to name some of the good photographers in India, I feel Raghurai sir is very good. Dinesh Khanna is very good. I learned so much from these guys every day just by their sense of, Raghuveer Singh is very good.
right,
There's so many photographers, even the youngsters, there's so many young photographers. They have such fresh talent and fresh vision. I
right,
feel in a photographer's life, the core occupation is to see. And I
right.
look at all these photographers, budding photographers also, and professional photographers also. I really want to feel that I can just pick up everything from them and make a picture. So that is what
Right,
I'm doing.
right, right. Okay. So, so tell me, how did you get into street photography of all the genres that you when you started pursuing photography, of all the
Mm.
genres that were available to you or that are there, that exist,
Mm.
how did you end up doing street photography?
Because this is the only genre which doesn't pay. That is why I picked it up.
Really?
Yeah. So now coming to the serious aspect of it, I was doing wildlife photography. I picked up, like, I really wanted to be a wildlife photographer. I wanted to be in the jungles. I wanted to explore the animals. But what I realized that I was shooting, I wanted a frame where I could have all the animals of the jungle in one frame. And it wasn't, I mentioned this, I was having a talk about 2, 3 days back with somebody, and I was telling them that the editor at that time wanted the eye of the tiger, and I wanted every element in that picture. And
Right.
then it wasn't working. I failed miserably, which I felt I was doing very good, but the editors told me that no, this is not for you. Then I got into fashion because I felt that it'll get me money, and it is a platform where if I want to succeed, because, about 28, 30 years back, magazines were really, really doing good. They really
Right.
wanted, like, to be on the cover of the magazine or to shoot for the cover of the magazine. It was really a big deal. And
Right.
I really wanted to be on the cover, but again, I failed miserably. And I felt I I wanted to go back to wildlife. I wanted to have the animals. I wanted to have the jungle, but I felt that nothing better than street jungle. We human beings are the best animals which, one can capture, and the
Right.
way we all behave at
Yeah.
times, it is amazing. It's overwhelming at times when you're just standing in the middle of the street and you witness so many things unfolding in front of you, and you feel, wow, I wish I was a part of this scene, what just happened in front of me. And I was enjoying that process, and I kept enjoying it. And also at the same time, I felt that I really want to make it as a habit. So street photography
Right.
is more of a habit to me. It is more of a
Right.
Zen state of mind which I'm achieving. That it is an exercise. It
Right.
prepares me for other genres. So that is how I've been doing. And it's like writing a diary. So I never feel tired of street photography. That is what I'm
No.
doing for Paul. Yeah.
So I'll come to the other aspect of it later. A lot of
Hmm.
people have asked about that. But first, I wanted to ask you that why Leica? Why? What does the camera do for you, and why is it the camera of choice for you?
Okay, so why Leica? The whole world knows I'm a Leica ambassador, and I can sing about Leica the whole day. But if one asks me honestly why I like Leica, firstly, being a sculptor myself, I feel this is a form, this is an aesthetic form. The minute I hold it in my hand, I really like the feel of it. That is one aspect of it. That is the aesthetics part of it. But being a street photographer, I feel it's my best friend. I have all the dials at my control, and I can just, it is the smoothness of the camera. I don't really, it's become my second nature. If I really have to tell you why I like the camera, see, results, more or less, a lot of cameras will give the same results. But
Right.
this camera has an IQ, which other cameras also have. Like, I'm not comparing, but the
Right.
IQ of this camera matches my IQ. It is like
Yeah.
it is my best friend. I can communicate with the camera much quicker. I can
Right.
communicate with a lot of people, but I can communicate with this camera much quicker.
Right.
I understand what it is trying to show me, and I can tell him that, listen to me, I am trying to show this. So there's a marriage
Right.
between me and the camera, and there
Nice.
is a unspoken language between two of us. At times, I'll tell you an example. When about 10 years back or 15
Right.
years back, when there was no street lights, you were comfortable the car you were driving because you feel that the car knows the way much better than you do. and,
True.
and
True.
I feel the
Right.
same thing, that this camera knows this shot much better than I do. But yes, somebody needs to press the shutter, and we talk. We have a dialogue very often. This Leica has been my best friend for long, and I hope that this relationship just lasts for long. And Leica has
No.
been really kind to me. Yes.
That's like really a huge compliment there for Leica. So I just wanted to ask you on that note.
Okay,
We
sorry. I don't want to give a compliment to Leica. I don't think that anybody can be bigger than the brand, or the camera can be bigger than me.
right,
Or I'm bigger than the camera. I feel it has to be a companion. We both are best
right,
friends.
right.
So best friends.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
on that note, what do you use to shoot primarily? Which Leica model do you use? Do you use the Q or do you use the M series or?
I I use the M10D, which doesn't have
Okay.
the LCD, and
Right.
I use the 28 Sumeron, which starts with 5.6. So
Right.
Sumeron is f5.6 to 22,
Right.
and I also have the Q2. I shoot with Q2 a lot. Uh, my eyes are not really as strong what they were about 5 years back.
Right.
But being said, with Leica M10D or Leica any of the M, I work with zone focusing, so I can't really
Right.
complain about critical focus. I pretty much get that sharp. But when it is, if some of you have seen my shots, I believe in really, really precise shots, which are like
Right.
geometrical and absolutely precise surgical kind of shots. Then I
Yeah.
do need a EVF at times to just
Right.
to work with my eyes. That's it,
Right.
and it helps me better.
But otherwise, the lack of autofocus, I mean, it's made out to be so much now, especially,
Mm-hmm.
with all the new mirrorlesses coming in. The lack of autofocus in your camera does not bother you?
I feel the focusing is much easier than the autofocus. In street
Okay.
photography, if you really are a, a person who wants the whole scene and very quick, you will not rely on autofocus. From past 8 years, I have shot on autofocus, but
Right.
from past 8 years, I've been just shooting on zone focusing and pre-focusing, and that
Right.
has helped me a lot. If at times when you'll see that you're shooting with the autofocus and you want something else in the focus,
Right.
and something else will keep the focal point keeps shifting, and you're not able to decide what you want, what you really want in focus. So I feel I work with a zone. uh,
Right.
I this M10 is like a hot shot camera for me. I feel I shoot on F13. I shoot on F13 to F16. I really
Right.
don't care, what the ISO I need, because so the settings which a lot of people, I think they've sent me a question, but I'll take
Right.
this moment to answer. I
Yes,
always
absolutely.
have my ISO at 800, always. I never
Okay.
change it. My shutter speed has to be minimum 1 by 250. I never change it. And the only
Okay.
thing which I change is either I move from F13 to F16, depending on the light, or I move from
Right.
1 by 250 to 1 by 500, depending on the quickness of the scene. So this is what I work with. And
Right.
this gives me liberty to work it as just point and shoot,
Right.
spending the quality of the glass and the comfort of the M. I make it
Right.
a point and shoot. That is what I'm working with.
Nice. Okay. I had a question there which you had asked me, but I think you've already answered that. Your favorite focal length, that would be a 28 mm, is it? Yeah.
28 always. I
Yeah.
mean, I since childhood, I would say.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I because there is something which all of us feel that, okay, I see the world in 50 mm, some
Right.
see it 35, some see it
Right.
28. I tried 21 also for some time, but it was too wide.
Right.
28 it is something like my voice. I feel
Right.
if there is a pitch of everybody's voice, now the focal length is also your voice. I feel
Right.
if
Yes.
somebody is looking through my portfolio or sees about 500 shots, and they feel that, oh, this is too close, this is too back, this is too wide.
Right.
If the focal length is same, it tries to show the pitch of your voice. There's like a song, it'll have a smooth node to the full image or the gallery. So 28 is my voice.
Superb. So tell me, how have you tamed the so-called decisive moment? I mean, seeing at your pictures, it's
Hmm.
quite crazy. I mean, it's just, you happen to capture things that, they are there. I mean, it's just that split second. That's what photography
Hmm.
is all about. But
Mm.
what kind of sorcery is this that, you seem to find them all, and or they
Uh,
seem to find you all the time? What goes on in your head? I mean, it's just crazy, the kind of split second shots that you've got. So
so
how do you operate? How does it all work?
Uh, I would say that I really miss a lot of shots every day. But understand that from if I've been shooting from 26 years, I have good preparation. So I'm not taking shots. I'm just applying my preparation. I'm
Okay,
just preparing. If I take shots, I learn a lot from my failures.
right,
Failures are actually the key lessons which we should learn from. Uh, you should look at pictures where you went wrong, pick up the right places that, okay, next time if you were standing in a perfect position, there is no perfect position.
right.
Photography is not go back home and do it later. It is do it right then and there. It is a lot of problem solving. If the light is not good, how you adjust the light. If your position is not good, how do you adjust your position? So I learned from that. So I've
Right.
I've committed enough mistakes. I still do. And I really wish that I keep committing mistakes because it'll keep helping me excel in certain fields or in certain directions where I feel I want that to happen. So
Right.
it is not the pictures which you see. I mean, if I'll ask you, you'll probably remember 5 to 6 images from me, or maybe 10 if you're on a good day. But try and understand. I have made tons of picture where I failed.
Right.
And I would really request all of you to commit mistakes. Please
Okay.
commit mistakes because if you don't make mistakes, you will not know where you're going right. Your
Right.
mistakes are your success. I'm a
Right.
strong believer of that.
Nice. So on that note, there's a question that so do you shoot every day?
I shoot every day. I shoot every day. So I'm working on this book, which I never thought, when I started doing that project or it was a self project, I never thought that I will make it into a book and I
Right.
will probably spend that much time. So I used to go to Old Delhi to shoot a lot, but I was feeling that every day to go to Old Delhi from South Delhi, it was taking a lot of time. It was taking, I would spend the key time of light while commuting, and so I wanted to find an area which is in South Delhi where I could go every day and make shots. So once I was going for work and I spotted this place, which was a bus stand. Now, today I made a post where I told where this bus stand is, and I'll tell them I'll take this opportunity. This bus stand is near the Lotus Temple, and
Right.
I used to go there about 10 years. I started about 8 years back, 9 years back. I really can't point the date. And I started making shots. And there was this time that I used to drop my son to school, and I had to reach my office at 9. So there was a gap between 7:45 to 8:45 a.m. And I made it a ritual, and I thought that why not make it a concept or a book that I shoot from 7:45 to 8:45 at the same place, have all the seasons going by, and try to work on a series. It started with a series, then I made it an essay. Now it's going to be a book, but I am so attached to that place that I'm not ready to leave that place.
Hmm.
It just kind of become a part of me, and I'm too scared to leave that place. I still go to that place every day, but not during this period. So
Okay.
I'm just, yeah. So I get, this is what I like about the
Right.
you want
So
to get hold on to that place.
yeah. So on that note, there's a question from Kaushik Clicks. He says, "How many photos do you take in a
Mhm.
day?"
Well, there is nothing like that. How many photos? There could be
Mm.
at least a week where I just taken 10 shots. It is not
Right.
that I make it, there is nothing like that I have to take 10 shots. If there's
Right.
nothing available in front of me, then I will not take a shot.
I,
It
I, I
has to be,
guess the people ask this question because they want to, kind of figure out that if you're shooting these pictures, how many are you actually shooting? Is our ratio anywhere near, or do you, like I
all right.
feel that,
I get the
is
point.
every shot that you take a perfect shot? Or do you have
Got it.
misses also, which you've actually answered.
I
Yeah,
told you, yeah. So
yeah,
I don't shoot on a continuous mode, never.
right.
Otherwise,
Okay,
I would take a, I'll make a video, come back home and take a shot, pick
right,
it up. Good HD videos coming. You
right,
can make a shot from anything. Uh, but I will spend time. I will spend more time looking at shot rather than
right,
making a shot instantly. I will
right,
look at the moment. I feel, okay, now it's talking to me. This is my dialogue, and then I'll press. At times, if they're good days, I have also shot about 100 shots in a day in a span of 3 hours of shooting. But I have never gone above 100 shots or maybe 120 shots in a day because I come from an old school thought of photography where I had to buy rolls and I had to print.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, it is an
yeah,
expensive hobby. So I still value and I don't collect digital garbage. So I wait in there.
right, right, right. Okay, so you coming back to this street photography, you said that it doesn't pay. And now a lot of people,
Hmm.
I'm sure they ask you as well. They have asked me also that
Hmm.
how to make street photography pay because it is a genre I think which a lot of people enjoy shooting. And but there is so I want to ask you two things. Is there a way to make it pay? And if
Hmm.
it doesn't pay, as you have
Hmm.
hinted, uh,
Hmm.
how do you manage to keep pursuing this in
Hmm.
spite of it not being a source of income?
All right. So I keep saying this that street photography, I mean, if you really want to get into street photography to earn, then leave it right now. But at the same time, I want to tell you that when we go into a school, and I'm talking about from nursery to standard 12th, schools never pay, but they prepare you. They prepare you, they make you focus, they make you understand which direction you really need to go to. Similarly, street photography prepares you for other different genres. You can learn, it will prepare you for wedding photography. It'll prepare you for even wildlife photography because you will know how the moments can turn so quickly, how the tables can be turned so quickly. So your reaction time will be much quicker. You will shoot much better sports picture. So I feel street photography is a preparation and also writing notes to yourself. But if you really feel that you want to do street photography as a earning, then you can also do a parallel genre of documentary photography. So street and travel also can go hand in hand. Street is something which you will always do for your soul, and rest of the genres are something for your stomach. So you have to know where you create a balance between soul and stomach, and also maybe create that thing together to make something a food for your whole body. I feel, but try to have photography. I feel is a very passionate thing. But the
It has to
minute when
be,
you
yes.
feel that, if the minute you feel that you want to get into something which will make you earn, then the whole
Right.
process is lost. Then there's something 9 to 5 job and get into that genre.
Yeah.
I would say to master any craft, at least give it some time. We feel that, today in today's world, all we have to do is have a camera and we can write Vineet Vohra photography next to my name. It has become so easy. I would say spend time. Spend time with your own self. Question yourself. Why do you want to take pictures? Why do you want to do photography? Is it for the money part or is it something which you want to connect with? But at the same time, I understand it is something very philosophical. End of the day, we have families to feed
Right.
and they need to be, fully fit. I would say that for this, have a parallel job while you're
Right.
practicing photography. If you want to give 3 years into photography, then have a parallel job, do photography as a passion, and then switch it over to
Right.
see that whether you can make a mark or not. Just by straight away getting into photography and say, okay, I'm a photographer. Well, if you come to me and you tell me that, okay, can you give me a job? I'm a photographer. I'll say, show me your portfolio. I think today, if somebody asks me for a portfolio, I'll still falter. I don't have a portfolio in 26 years. And kids, I see that they shoot for 3 months and they say that we are ready to work. I'll say that be a student. A photographer has to be a student of photography all his life. It is very, very, it is very, very important. And I would say keep, I just see Mr. Samar Jodha has sent a very interesting message or a question. We'll get to that.
Okay.
And so the key point is be a student of the craft. And I
So which
love
brings me,
being a student.
sorry, which brings me to the question, what do you do for your stomach, so to speak?
All right. I I'm into packaging and printing. We have a unit, and that is the core side of it. I'm an educator. I conduct workshops,
Yes,
and
that.
this is a very very aspect, a very very strong aspect, which is catering to my family. But as if I'll see the main source of income is the factory, which is helping
Yeah.
me. I think there are three, four things which are very, very important in anybody's life. You should have a good wife. You should have a good father who can take care of you because they both have been really supportive.
Right, right,
Fathers
right.
fathers will always support. My wife really, really supported me. She really told me that okay, go ahead, do this. And for the longest time, I never wanted to make it as a profession. I was taking care of I'm still taking care of the factory, but then I moved into photography a lot more. So I'm doing 70% photography and 30% factory. That is what I'm doing.
Okay, nice. That's nice. I mean,
Mm.
good to know because I have being a director myself, so I
Somebody just wrote, if you don't have a wife, then I'm sure you have a good partner and you have a good mother. I'm sure there's somebody in your
yeah,
family.
yeah. So now moving on to questions asked by the users. So I have them. Gully by Rajesh is saying, is
Mhm.
staging in street photography accepted at international levels in terms of contests?
It is not it is not accepted in any levels. Forget about
Right,
international or national. If you have to stage something, then get into product photography. It is much
right,
easier and it'll pay you also. Why do you want to get into staging? I simply don't understand when people ask, can we stage or why should we stage? It is it is simple as when a author is writing a novel, the reader has a right to know whether he's reading a fact or a fiction. So
right,
as street photographers, you're showing them fact, but the viewers are reading it in a fiction. It is a subjective interpretation by the viewers, which makes it much more interesting. So I would say, why do you have to stage? Why?
right.
What is the point? Then get into something else. This is not the genre for you. Get into wedding
Okay.
photography. It'll be much better for all of us.
Paras Narula says, your biggest achievement in photography
Mhm.
and your views on phone photography.
Phone photography. I Photography is photography, whether it's on
Right.
phone, whether it's on cameras. A photograph is something which is held in hand, always.
Yeah, so I
And
was
what we
reading
see,
through the
what
comments also. Yeah, so somebody was saying you're like ambassador. So why do you use a phone? So yeah, so I mean,
why
please
do I use a
continue.
phone? Because I have to communicate also. And there are times when I have to shoot behind the scenes also, and I can't have two cameras in my hand. People will think that I really have a lot of stuff in my pocket that I can have two Leicas in my hand and keep shooting each
Yeah.
other. So phone is something which is an addition. I don't shoot much from the phone. The cameras are so tiny and so small that I can have them in my pocket. But cell phones are something which I just take it out when I'm being lazy, I would say. Otherwise,
Right.
a photograph is a photograph. It doesn't make a difference whether it's from a phone or a camera. There are a lot of contests in the world which have a section of mobile category,
Right.
which is such a shame. I feel there should not be any category because if you're seeing the whole concept is the eyes behind whether it's
Yeah.
the cell phone or whether it's the camera.
Right.
That's what I feel.
Also, I think, I mean, it's a good way for phone makers to promote their phones, right? And they seem to have
Yeah.
a lot of money now. I mean, because people are kind of.
But at the same time, Gorky, I feel we should be thankful to all these phone cameras. They revived
Yeah, absolutely,
photography.
absolutely,
They
absolutely.
revived
Yes.
photography. Photography was a
Yeah,
dying medium, in the 90s, it was literally dying. And all
yeah,
these, phone companies, when they came into the market, it helped us just create pictures and we got back into the shape of cameras. So it is really helpful.
okay. So, okay, so I'm coming back to a question which somebody asked. Suggest some books on street photography. Are you in a,
I would say these are the same books I keep on repeating. There's a contact sheet by Magnum, then there's Decisive Moment, but I would request them to read about painters, their autobiographies, or just read about aesthetics.
yeah,
Any aesthetics is something which you have to acquire.
right,
Aesthetics can be, I there was a good argument or there was a good conversation between me and one of the photographers. Names are not important. We said that whether aesthetics is inherent or a inborn quality, or whether somebody can acquire
acquire it,
aesthetics.
yes, right,
Now, if you don't have that inside you, you can definitely acquire. But read a
right,
lot, spend time. It is image is it's a actually I would say it's a combination of EQ and IQ. When there is
right,
emotional quotient and there's intelligent quotient which comes together, you make a print, you make a picture. And to
right,
get that emotional and the balance between emotional and intelligent quotient, then you need aesthetics and why
right,
you like certain aspect of the frame. Why do we like triangles in the frame, or why do we like where there are strong diagonals in the frame? So
right,
this aesthetics knowledge will really help them. There was a quote by Descartes that I think, therefore I am. Similarly, for a photographer, we have to understand that I shoot, therefore I am. So why should we shoot, and what should we
right,
shoot is very
right.
crucial.
So
Yeah.
anyway, to extend what you're saying, there is this series by Taschen Publications.
Mm-hmm.
They are very good publishers of art books, and they have
Mm-hmm.
this series called uh, the Basic Art Series. So where
Mm-hmm.
they have these fairly thin books
Mm-hmm.
dedicated to each painter, all the ones that you've named, and they are for like
I,
I think 800, $900 each. So
yeah.
I mean that's what I did when I started,
Are
trying
we
to get
talking about
into.
that the great artist series? Are you talking about that?
Yes, yes, yes,
It
yes.
is beautiful. I still have some
S-
of them. I wish I could have
Yeah,
all that, but they're very
yeah.
good. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they're a great start. They're a great introduction, and then you can,
Mm, mm,
pick up your favorite artists, and move
mm.
from there and
True.
study them
True.
in
So
the
if
deeper
you if
context.
so, just to tell them to start with, I think start with the impressionist painters. It will really help.
Yes,
Then maybe
yeah,
go with the realistic kind of work. And if you really
right,
are interested in chiaroscuro, the stark light and shade, then look at Michelangelo's work. You will
right,
understand. Caravaggio's work is very good.
right,
These small little points you will learn from their paintings. I think they are the lessons for life.
right. So, okay. So, how much do you process in your photos? Somebody's asking.
Hardly. If I have to spend time on processing, that means I've faltered. So the job has to be done right then and there. You can never come back and paint the skies blue if they were never blue. So,
Right,
and also the core idea, I also feel from past 4 years, my cropping has also come down to from 2 to 5%. I feel I
right,
could not frame it the way I wanted the frame, then I'm manipulating the frame.
right,
And I, so there has been an argument about how one should convert into black and white, or we should not convert into black and white. I will leave that conversation open. But for me, if I'm spending more than 2 to 3 minutes on the processing, then I've
right.
faltered. Then the image is a waste. Then I'm
So,
creating something which I never saw.
so just for
Mhm.
uh, what you just said, I mean, I'd like to dig slightly deeper, not too much, about
Uh-huh.
conversion to black and white photography and about conversion to black and white. And what are your
Uh,
views on that? I know that you shoot
I
color primarily. Yes.
I
So, yeah.
I I did shoot on a monochrome for
Right.
about a year just to
Right.
understand why people shoot monochrome, because I was always wondering, but I'm just seeing the world in color. And how are these people shooting in black and white and making these super awesome pictures? And I don't see the world in color. So I converted into, in fact, I used the monochrome camera just to understand that why should
Right.
I shoot in black and white?
Right.
I would request all of you, if you want to shoot in black and white, please understand how a red or a yellow will look in black and
It
white at least.
translates.
It is the
Right.
translation, it is the communication to yourself.
Right.
But at the same time, it is you have to go on the merit of the moment. There are certain moments which converse with you in a black and white. I'm
Right.
yet to explore that side. I think I'm pretty ignorant on that side. My voice, I feel I converse much more better with the color. I take the liberty of fooling the viewers with the color and making them stop at certain colors. I've understood
Ah,
so I've become a hakim in their lives, and
yeah.
I know that they like reds or yellows, and I keep playing with that.
Right. So a lot of questions coming up. I think people have joined late. Quite a few of these we have already answered, like street photography, earning a
Mm,
living, and all of that.
mm,
And
mm,
so just letting everybody know that they can watch this live session
mm,
later, and they will
mm.
get the answer to that
So
question.
there's a question which just popped up, which I saw, that why do I just shoot juxtaposition? So
Right.
I think he has to look at the entire process of my journey in past 25 years. This is my
Right.
current state. If I'm
Yeah.
just probably evolving, or maybe at one stage right now. If you look at the work which I've been doing about 3 years back or 4 years back, it was different, and this could change. The only constant thing in life is change, and I will change. It is probably a space where I am in right now, and
Right.
I've learned something to be in this stage, and I'm accepting it with both my hands. I'm actually taking it in, absorbing it in before I
Right.
come go to the next stage. It is not that I'm
Right.
only making pictures which are juxtaposed.
Right.
I'm showing. In fact, I'm just showcasing the images which are just which are juxtaposed. It's like somebody just asked me what is a good picture. I totally and very humbly said, hiding your bad pictures is your good picture. And it is the same thing right now. I'm just hiding some work which I'm doing, and when I feel the time is right, then I'll start communicating that language in a better way.
Okay.
So it is nothing that I just shoot
So,
that.
so coming to juxtaposition, are you in the stage where you can see the moment about to happen and you feel that this camel will cross that
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
thing which is there, the Jula at the back, and
Hmm.
you lie in wait. I mean, you're like half a second ahead of
Hmm.
that moment. So,
All right.
so
So Gorky, this I get this question like the
right,
most.
yeah,
And I feel I just want to simplify this question. When we
right,
were there, I'm sure there are some kids who just passed school, who just
right,
passed colleges also, and we people in our life. When we were in school, we always used to feel that this question is very, very important and it will come in the newspaper or question paper tomorrow.
yeah,
And it used to come. And we were
right,
like, damn it, I knew that this will come and I did it.
right,
Now, was this intuition? This was not
right,
intuition. You had this conscious knowledge, looking at the question papers from past 6 years, that this question was recurring. Now, when a street photographer steps on the street, he has to apply his conscious knowledge and intuitive knowledge at the same time. But please understand, you will fail 99% of the times. But that one
right.
person, when you will get it, you will achieve it and you will feel you did it and you knew it.
Superb. Yeah,
It is when you know that you know it or you knew it, that is how it
right.
happens. And but at the same time, you will if you want to shoot school kids, you will not go to outside school at 9 o'clock in the night because
Right.
kids are not going to be there. You have
Right.
to use your conscious knowledge. You have to know that these elements can come in that frame. Like let's say
Right.
if you're on a fair, let's say Pushkar fair, and you see a bunch of these ladies who are wearing red saris. Now you have to think of a scene that, okay, what can happen? What is the possibility? Now, if you think that there could be a balloon guy with hot balloons walking by, then there is a shot. But it is preparation. You have to prepare yourself that these things can happen. And at the same time, you can also have that these females could pass where there are six camels behind. So use your conscious knowledge to the max. Then only
Right.
intuitive knowledge will work. That is the key
Okay.
takeaway. Yeah.
So I'm going to put Samar Jodha's question to you. He's asking, do you ever get pulled in for commercial work of ad world for having such refreshing take on our world of overloaded imagery?
I would love to do something, but these ad guys, no names. He asked me to come, but he said that you will shoot, but the image will be mine. I refused that, and that was a bad experience about
Right.
5 6 years back. And then I would love to do it. I'm doing a lot of
Right.
transitional videos for movies, and there are
Right.
these small shots which are the candid shots where good videographers or cinematographers they need to combine two scenes, and I'm doing that. I've There's a guy in Mumbai. He's approached me for the shot for the next ad campaign. Let's see how it works out. Let's
Okay.
just wait for this Corona thing to get over, and I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
get good things. We'll see good
Yeah.
things.
So I would like the moment to invite you over to my studio if you ever are in Mumbai. And
I'll be the happiest. I mean, the first place I would go is Varanasi to shoot, and then I'll come to
yeah.
Mumbai.
So, okay, coming to that. So is Varanasi your favorite city to shoot in?
Uh, it is. It is. I would say the favorite city to shoot is your hometown, where
Yeah, of
you've
course.
grown up, where you
Yeah.
live. But
Right.
at the same time, I feel I love Varanasi because it keeps me calm, it keeps me sane. There's something like a spiritual contentment which I get. I don't
Right.
make enough shots, but I see shots. I make shots with my eyes rather than making shots with my
Right.
camera.
Okay. So another question which keeps popping up and is of personal value to me. What kind of ethics do you maintain while shooting street? Do you speak to the subject, make them comfortable, and risk losing the moment?
Never.
And
Never,
never.
never,
Okay.
never. I have never spoken to anybody on the street. If I have spoken to them by any chance, or if our eyes have, met, or we've struck a
Connected. Yeah.
conversation, I will never show that picture. I will still take that picture, but I'll never showcase that picture. That is one
Right.
thing. I will never stage. That is my ethic. Third, which is I will never shoot a pregnant woman. I will never shoot beggars on the street. I will never show any country in a poverty side of it. I like humor and I like quirk, so I rely heavily on that. These are my ethics. I will make people to look at that work and feel happy, not
Right.
why. I don't want to leave a social impression on anybody's mind. I want to leave something for them to question that why did this happen, or who is this. It is very important for me that I connect to that moment, and I don't want people to see poverty at all. Maybe I'm
Right.
just blinding myself.
Right. So yeah, so but I also think that I mean the people who ask them are also talking about when they take portraits of subjects, right? And they
Hmm.
like them to look into the camera and make that
Right.
contact. So then
Hmm.
they treat it as a part of photography. So you obviously have don't shoot those kind of pictures, right?
So if it's a commercial work, then somebody is supposed to do like that. But
Of course, yes.
if somebody is doing portraits, then the dialogue is very important. It is very,
Right,
very important for the photographer and the subject to have a communication. Now, if you
Right.
have to shoot somebody in somebody's bedroom, then you need
Right.
that kind of comfortness with it. But then
Right.
that is not street photography. If you want to
Right.
create environmental portraits with the person
Hmm.
in the environment, then you have to go candid in street photography. But there's a
Right.
thin line which divides street photography to other genres. I
Right.
am not I'm not telling everybody to do just street photography. I'm telling them to explore photography. Now,
Right.
by the end of the if you have small collections of different genre, by the end of the year, if you feel that okay, my collection of portraits is much bigger than street photography, then street photography is the genre for you. But this is what I do. I will
Right.
never communicate. I will never talk to the subjects. If I do, if I must, because there are some subjects which are very very great.
Right.
So I would communicate, but I will never share their picture because then I feel that
Right.
I've altered the moment.
There's Vincent Prasanna who's asking your single important ethical advice regarding street photography. I like it how people, want to distill everything that you learned
Okay,
over the
can
past 26 years.
sorry, I missed that. Can you just repeat
Your
again?
single important ethical advice
Hmm.
regarding street photography. Is
I
there,
think the ethics are something which the photographer decides for himself or herself. If
right,
you feel that you can do something in that moment, then please go ahead. But if you feel that this is showing some person in some downgraded kind of a scenario, then please don't. Ethics, no, it is something like being in a court of law of God, where you are answerable to yourself. It's your conscience. And you have to decide about this yourself, whether I should do this or I should not do this. That is the key point.
well, very, very well said, I think. So we all have to make our uh, decision regarding that, right? The voice has to
Mhm.
come from within.
It has to be.
Okay,
Photography is nothing, but it has to be a voice from within. So the process of a picture is that you have perceived it in your mind and you take a picture and the viewer reads it. That's the whole process.
right, right,
And if the dialogue is given or said in a right way, the viewer reads the photograph in a much better scenario. But if your
right,
voice is not clear to yourself, your viewer is not
right,
going to read it. So that is what I feel.
right. So I'll just check. I think we've covered mostly all the questions that we
Hmm.
have here. There's a question which says, is there any way that you feel you can get acknowledgement for one's photography skills these days?
Is he looking for adulation online or something? I feel adulation is something if you should be your biggest fan. I feel if you if you like your work, then that is the
Hmm,
most important. So my suggestion would be make pictures which is better than your previous one,
right,
then you are succeeding. And then the graph is upward. But if you feel that, oh, somebody has to see my picture and press a like, likes are nothing. If likes were giving me money, then I would have been a millionaire by now. It
yeah,
doesn't pay you anything. And also make pictures for yourself. If the craft is for yourself, you are enjoying the craft, you will succeed. Otherwise, you're not going to succeed ever. And don't worry about likes. A good picture has a has feet to travel on their own. They run very fast and it'll reach. Don't worry about it.
okay. Do you have prints of photographs around the house taken by various other photographers?
I have the books. I have the
Okay, you
books.
don't have prints.
No, I don't have their prints because it is they're very expensive.
Phenomenally expensive, yes.
Yeah, but the books are much easier to get hold of. You can and you can touch it every day. I feel.
Right, right, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, uh, so how do you act? This also we've answered. It's a different wording
Hmm.
of by Pixel Loki. How do you act or what you do when someone catches you taking their photos and asks you to show it to them or delete it?
So, like I said, I'm shooting on M10D, which doesn't have a LCD, and I quickly
CD
say that this is a film camera,
camera, yeah.
and I'm taking shots for myself. Now, another thing, when I'm shooting on 28 mm, I go so
Right.
close to people that the person who's right in front of the frame or in my frame, he never
Right.
realizes he's a part of my frame. And when I make a
Ah,
shot, I start looking beyond him, behind him, and make him feel that as if he's spoiled your picture, not made your picture, and
oh,
then he will,
nice.
and then he will never question that. Rather
That
than
I
you
think is a
saying,
great, yeah,
so
yeah.
rather than you saying sorry to him, make him say sorry that as if he came into your frame and spoiled it.
That I think like really, really sums up, the entire whole thing of asking for permission and,
Yeah.
shooting stealthily. So anyway, guys, I think we are running into the time limit where Instagram will shut off this live video anytime.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are, and they are saying that please keep this. This has been a very, very valuable session. And
Mm.
so I hope the guys at Leica, they said that they're trying to record it and probably
Yeah.
upload this
Yeah.
on YouTube, and let's see how that goes.
Yeah. And I think,
So
Gorky, you're also going to take a few people and you're going to interview them. That's what we had a chat today. And so
yeah,
we're really
okay,
looking,
okay. So I'd
so
love to do that. I'd love to.
we're looking
Yeah,
forward to that. And
yeah.
thank you so much, everybody who's listening. We'll keep coming up with more series and more interesting topics. So give us your thoughts. Please help us promoting the whole thing. Thank you so much.
And yeah,
Thank you,
and
Gorky.
let us know. You can let Vineet know, or you can let the Leica store New Delhi know
Hmm.
what else would you like to see on this handle, which would ignite your passion for photography even further. Vineet, it has been such a pleasure.
Thank you so much,
Once
Gorky.
this lockdown is over, I'm definitely coming over to Delhi and I'm meeting you. And
I'll come to Mumbai before that.
okay, great, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
thank you so much.
See you,
Thank you,
buddy.
guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time, hopefully soon. Take care, stay safe. Bye bye.
Thank
Bye bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
Vineet.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Stay safe, everyone. Bye bye.